Nazi cleansing.
What is Nazi racism? Nazis believe an idea shaped the everyday life in Nazi Germany. The joint ideas of Nazi beliefs and their ideas about a race were based on past ideas on races and stereotypes. Hitler and Nazis believed in the Aryan race, better known as the master race, which are individuals who consider themselves to be German. Aryans are characterized as blonde, blue-eyed, athletic, and tall. The Nazis held a strong belief that they had to rid the Germans from anyone they viewed as inferior.
Before World War I, black people came to Germany from Africa, North and South America, the Caribbean, and from Germany's African colonies. When the Nazis came to power in 1933, there were several thousand black people living in Germany. The Nazi regime harassed and persecuted them because the Nazis viewed black people as racially inferior. While there was no centralized systematic program targeting black people for murder, many black people were imprisoned, forcefully sterilized, and murdered by the Nazis. Nazi racist ideology permeated all aspects of life in Germany. Many Germans embraced this ideology and openly discriminated against black people on their own initiative. For black Germans, the Nazi era was a time of escalating persecution, marginalization, and isolation. Though they had faced racism during the Weimar era, the institutionalized racism of the Nazi regime made life for black people and their families even more difficult. As a result, black people in Germany saw the Nazi rise to power as a turning point in their lives. The law for the restoration of the professional civil service was one of the first anti-Semitic and racist laws to be passed in Germany. This decree and subsequent race-based restrictions severely limited future job opportunities and career paths for black people. It also made clear that Nazis did not consider black people part of Germany's national community. Most black people living in Germany in 1933 when the Nazis came to power were effectively trapped there throughout the Nazi period. While some tried to leave Nazi Germany, for the vast majority this was not possible. However, some did succeed, either by joining the resistance or by fleeing Germany. One example is Hans Massaquoi, a black German who later became a journalist and wrote about his experiences growing up during the Nazi era in his memoir, Destined to Witness, Growing Up Black in Nazi Germany.
European Roma Gypsies, 1939 to 1945. The genocide of the Roma was a systematic extermination of the Roma people by the Nazi regime during World War II. It is estimated between 220,000 and 500,000 Roma were killed during the genocide. The Roma, also known as the Gypsies, were a group of people that were targeted by the Nazi regime for extermination because they were seen as racially inferior. The Nazis viewed the Roma as a threat to their vision of a pure Aryan race and believed they were responsible for spreading disease and crime. The genocide of the Roma took place across Europe, with the largest concentration of Roma living in Eastern Europe being particularly hit hard. Roma were rounded up and sent to concentration camps where they were subjected to forced labor, medical experiments, and extermination in gas chambers. Many Roma were also shot on the spot by Nazi killing squads. Despite the fact that the Roma were targeted for extermination by Nazis, their suffering has often been overlooked in discussions of the Holocaust. It is important to remember the Roma victims and to honor the memory as a part of the broader effort to fight against genocide and racism.
Jehovah's Witnesses were targeted because they were unwilling to accept the authority of the state because of their international connections, as they chose to obey God as ruler rather than man. In addition, they were strongly opposed to war, so that made them even more suspect in the eyes of the Nazis. Jehovah's Witnesses were not outright anti-Nazi, but they refused to salute, join Nazi party organizations and elections, as well as put up Nazi flags in their homes, nor let their children attend Hitler Youth sessions. In acts of suspicion, the Prussian and Bavarian government secret police called Gestapo would break up their meetings, ransack their homes and local offices, thinking they were conspiring something in secret. By 1939, over 6,000 witnesses were detained in prisons. Some fled to Germany prior and continued their religious practice in private, though the ones captured would be tortured into signing declarations renouncing their faith, but very few did. Witnesses were marked by purple triangular patches, but continued to pray, worship, and seek converts. In very despairing times, the witnesses did not let their time go to waste, as they set up underground printing presses in the Buchenwald camp. The conditions in Nazi camps were harsh for all, as most died from disease, hunger, exhaustion, and brutal treatment. The only real hope the witnesses had was the belief in one another that their suffering was a part of their work for God. Luckily for the witnesses, since they did not actively try to escape the camps or resist the guards physically, they were deemed as trustworthy and were often used as domestic servants to the camp officers. Between the 30,000 German witnesses, half of them would be active throughout the Nazi period, while the other half were sent straight to jail, serving an average of about 18 months. The rest were sent to concentration camps, which included Austrians, Dutch, Belgians, and the Hungarians. An estimated 1,000 German Jehovah's Witnesses died or were murdered in the camps, with another 270 sentenced to death due to refusing military service.
Presented is a map showing Nazi racial cleansing camps throughout the region. Thank you.